Mr. Kambi is bringing the witness in.
Thank you.
I, Mam Sait Njie.
I, Mam Sait Njie.
Do swear that.
Do swear that.
I'll speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good afternoon, Mr. Njie. Welcome to the TRRC. Let's have interpretation in Wolof, please.
Mr. Njie, ñu ngi la dalal TRRC.
And thank you for agreeing to testify before the commission.
Jërëjëf li nga nangu pour ñëw joxe sa seede fii ci kanam commission bi.
As you may be aware, we normally warn witnesses
Comme ni nga ko xamee rek léeg-léeg dañuy dénku nag ñi nga xam ne ñoo fee ñëw pour joxe seen seede.
that it's a violation of the law of this country and also the law of the commission to provide false or misleading information.
Pour xamal leen ne yaxal lu waa réew mi la yaxal lu waa TRRC la tamit muy commission bi fii pour nga joxe fi ay seede yoo xam ne doonu dëgg.
You are here today to testify about a land transaction you were involved in with Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation.
Tey nag li la fi indi moo di lu aju ci lu dox sa diggante ak Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation lu aju ci wàlli pàkka.
But in that process, certain things happened leading to your incarceration.
Ci biir loolu nag am na yu ci xew yoo xam ne waral na sax ñu tëj la.
And that is the issue of this inquiry.
Te loolu moo waral nag gëstu bi ñoo def.
Are you ready to talk about it?
Pare nga pour wax ci mbir moomu.
Waaw, pare naa pour wax ci mbir moomu.
Yes, I'm ready to discuss on that issue.
Before that, kindly tell us your full names, please.
Balaa ñoo dugg ci loolu nag wax ñu sa tur ak sa santa.
Mam Sait Njie laa tudda.
My name is Mam Sait Njie.
Date and place of birth.
Kañ nga juddu ak fan nga juddoo.
September 28, 1949.
ñaar fukki fan ci weeri September 1949.
Where were you born?
Fan nga juddoo.
Banjul.
I was born in Banjul. Mangi judo Banjul.
I have to change the form of the questioning so that we could make progress because we're starting with you a bit late, so I'd have to do that so we can gain time. You are an investor, an entrepreneur, and an engineer.
Yow nak julanga di dépasse ci walu njula te tamit engineer nga.
Wow.
Yes.
But that aside, you also work on religious mobilization.
Waaye nag lu dul loolu su em ci rek sax am na ay dajale yoo xam ne yaa ngi ko dajale ay nit lu aju ci wàllu diina.
Wow.
And you participate in a lot of social activities, including those that affect the youths.
Te am na yëngu yu ci bari yoo xam ne tamit bokk nga ci surtout yi nga xam ne nag mu ngi aju ci wàllu ndaw yi.
Wow.
Yes.
You are a founder member of Real de Banjul Football Club.
Bokk nga ci ñi nga xam ne ñoo sos football club bi ñoo wax Real de Banjul.
waaye ñoo leen gën a garaaw ñun waa Walidaan.
Wow, yes, naa la tontu si loolu after.
Yes.
Thank you very much. In the 1970s, you migrated to Norway.
Ci atum 1970 si nag da nga gàddaay dem Norway.
Wow, after bi ma jeexalee technical school AFDAI.
When I finished my technical school at Halfday,
ñu ngi ma post on public works.
I was posted at the public works.
The carpentry workshop.
At the carpentry workshop.
Attached to Abdoulaye Touré, father of Bax Touré. Bax Touré.
ñu setale man ma topp ci Abdoulaye Touré, Papi Bax Touré.
In 1970.
In 1970.
A friend of mine, Sait Njie Pt2.
Suma xarit Sait Njie Pt2.
Appear nañ fi ma moom jointly.
We appeared here jointly.
Mu dem Norway.
He left for Norway.
To study tourism.
Pour jàng yëfi gani tubaab yi.
1972.
In 1972.
Mu utal ma scholarship.
He looked for a scholarship for me.
Ma dem Norway.
And I went to Norway.
Ma dem attend benn high school bu ñu ooyee Solborg Folk High School in Stavanger.
I went to attend one of the high school he just named now.
It was a boarding school.
Boarding school la woon foofu la xale yi di jàngee fa la ñoo dëkk.
And also Christian school la tam.
And it's also a Christian school. School yi Christian la.
Only 1 year la woon.
benn at rek la woon.
Ma pare.
When I was done.
ñu bàyyi ma dëkk foofu.
I lived there.
Then ma attend another institution in Drammen, not in Stavanger.
Ma dolli teewaat ci beneen buntu jàngeekaay ci place bi mu tudda noonu.
It's also boobu tam technical institute la.
Boobu tamit bëri jàngeekaay métier la. It was a technical school.
Who def physics, maths and chemistry.
To do physics, maths and chemistry.
Ma def for 2 years.
I did there for 2 years.
Ma am the entrance qualification pour dugga seen benn ci seen polytechnics yi.
Then I got the entrance to enter to one of their polytechnics.
In a place called Drammen.
In a place called Drammen, ci place bu ñu xamee Drammen.
Mu ngi soliwaatee Oslo about 45 minutes.
Between Drammen and Oslo is about 45 minutes drive.
ñaari acceptant la amoon.
I have 2 acceptants.
Benn Oslo, benn Drammen.
One in Oslo and the other one in Drammen.
Ma consult my friend Cheikh Tidiane.
I consulted my friend Cheikh Tidiane.
Mu ne ma bul jël bu Oslo bi distraction si dafa bari foofu.
He told me don't pick the Oslo one. There's a lot of distraction.
So jëlal bi nekk Drammen.
You take the one at Drammen.
I was the first Gambian pour ñëw Drammen foofu.
I was the first Gambian to enter to Drammen.
So ma accept bu Drammen bi.
So I accepted the Drammen one.
Ma start foofu.
I started there.
Ma def for 3 years.
I did there 3 years.
Ma jeexal qualified.
Then I completed my course and qualified.
So I am the first job to build a hospital there in Drammen, one of the biggest hospitals.
I was opportune to build one of the biggest hospital in Drammen there.
I was hired by a company Moma employee on.
I was employed by one company there.
So I nekkoon ci site boobu for 2 years.
I was in that site for 2 years.
after the building be completed,
when the building was completed,
I apply a job to a NOCEM, it's a Norwegian cement factory.
Ma ut liggéey nak ci ben factory bo xamne factory cement la fofu.
And it's the biggest Nordic cement manufacturer.
Te ñom ñoo ëpp nak ci ñi nga xam ñoo yëngu ci wàllu defaram ciment.
Ma am fa liggéey.
I got a job there.
Ma liggéey fa ba 1977.
I worked there until 1977.
Ma ñëw Gambia.
And I came back to Gambia.
Ma sëy.
And I got married
to Jainaba Jallo.
One Jainaba Jallo.
Sister to OJ Jallo.
The rakiti OJ Jallo.
You bokk ndey ak baay.
Same father and mother.
You got married in 1978.
You say ci atum 1978.
Ma isi ko over to Norway.
Then I brought her to Norway.
Yàlla may ñu juróomi doom foofu.
And we were blessed with 5 children.
4 boys.
4 boys.
1 girl.
Muy ñeenti xale yu góor ak benn xale bu jigéen.
You spent for 20 years together.
We were there for 20 years. ñu nekk fa ñaar fukki at.
So ma dem ci CEO of the company.
I went to the CEO of the company.
Ma ne ko man de dama bëggoon ñu establish a cement plant in the Gambia.
I told him that I wanted us to establish a cement plant in the Gambia.
Mu laaj ma certain statistical data.
Mu laaj ma nag lu jëm ci ay yenn façon lim yu bari.
Waaye aw ma ko woon.
Then I didn't have it.
Dama demal Gambia.
He told me to go to Gambia.
Nga dem statistics.
You go to the statistic office.
Dañ la wax annually ñaata lañ dee import.
And they will tell you how many annually how much cement they import.
So ma ñëw Gambia.
When I come to the Gambia.
Before ma ñëw wax na ma ne trial nga am a letter of intent from the Gambia government.
Before I came, they told me to look for a letter of intent from the Gambia government.
Ma ñëwee ma dem statistics.
When I came, I went to the statistic department.
Late Aliou Ndao mooy the director general then Aliou Ndao.
And then late Aliou Ndao was the director general.
Mu ne ma I'll provide all information within 2 days.
He said that I will provide this information within 2 days. Danaa la jox xibaar boobu nga soxla ci diiram ñaari fan.
Economic planning.
The economic planning.
ñoom ak statistics ñoo nekkoon ci same building.
ñoom ak buntu liggéeykaay statistique ñoo nekkoon ci same benn building. They were in the same building.
The permanent secretary then.
Ki nga xam ne moo nekkoon permanent secretary bi boobu.
Dr. Ayodele Langley la woon.
It was Ayodele Langley.
Ma dem office am.
I went to his office.
Ma meet secretary bi mooy woon late Chumbe Baji.
I met his secretary, late Chumbe Baji.
Chumbe Baji Njie.
Chumbe Baji Njie.
Ma ne ko dama bëgg a gis Dr. Langley.
I told her that I want to see Dr. Langley.
Mu ne ma.
She told me.
Demal xaaral ma call ko.
He told me to wait, let her call him for me.
Mu dem ñëw lead ma into office am.
Then she led me to his office.
Ma toog ak moom.
I sat with him.
Ne ko dama bëgg a build a cement plant into the Gambia.
I told him that I want to build a cement plant in the Gambia.
Explainal ko fi ma liggéeyee.
I explained to him where I am working at.
Mu ne ma.
He said to me.
Directly wax ma lan nga bëgga.
He said to me that he told me, tell me what you want.
Ma ne ko dama bëggoon a letter of intent.
I told him that I need a letter of intent.
Mu pick téléphone am bi.
He just picked his phone.
Called Aliou Ngom.
And called Aliou Ngom.
Aliou was then a principal economist, just graduated.
Aliou then a principal economist who just graduated.
Bini was around 1980.
Ci atum 1980 la.
So mu wax ko lan la Aliou mu laaj ma lan laa bëgga.
And he told Aliou to ask me what I wanted.
Mu wax Aliou ne mu dem draft letter of intent bi.
Then he ordered Aliou to draft the letter of intent.
Aliou prepare ko.
Then it was prepared by Aliou.
Mu ne ma ñëw ëllëg.
He told me to come back the following day.
So ma ñëw the next day.
The next day I came.
Mu jox ma draft bi.
He gave me the draft.
Ma seet ko.
And I look at it.
Ma ne ko ndax mun na ko expand.
And I asked whether he can expand it.
Mu ne ma he can do that.
He said yes, he can do it.
I think mu def ko jointly with Amadou Tal, Ambassador Amadou Tal.
He did it jointly with Ambassador Amadou Tal.
Bi mu paree.
When it was done, it was given back to me.
To statistics the next day.
I went back to statistics the following day.
Back to Norway.
Then I left back to Norway.
Did you get the statistical data you needed?
Yes, I got all what I was asked for.
Because at the time we import about 50,000 metric tons.
Because at that time we imported about 50,000 metric tons. Lu dem ci juroom fukki junne metric ton lañ dugal bu ñak bi.
Lañ daan
dugal ci bu ñak.
Ma delo Norway.
When I went back to Norway,
I met with the CEO of the company.
I met with the CEO of the company.
The country dafa tuuti, sen dëkk bi dafa tuuti.
He told me that your country is a very small country.
And the statistics inga wane fini.
And the statistics that you just shown here.
50,000 metric tons.
50,000 metric tons.
Viable to establish a cement plant.
It's not viable for us to establish a cement plant.
Nonetheless,
Numuntimel.
Contact the Norwegian Agency for Development, NORAD.
Let's contact the Norwegian Development Agency, NORAD.
Because letter bilasa government bindalni is very powerful.
Because the letter that your government wrote for you is very powerful.
They contacted NORAD to finance the feasibility study.
And they have to contact the NORAD to finance the feasibility of the studies.
Then NORAD within 2 weeks.
NORAD within 2 weeks
responded.
At
the time.
At that time, ci waxtu wowu.
Provide.
Pour ñu joxe.
Almost $500,000.
Almost $500,000, lu tollo genn wàlli $1 million.
So you select a team, the company.
Ñu tànn benn team ci company bi.
Engineers.
Muy ay engineer di liggéeykat yi.
Ay economist.
And economist ñu yëngu ci wàlli xeñtum koom-koom.
Man.
And myself, man ci suma bopp.
ñu conduct a feasibility study full-fledged.
Ci lay ñëw na def benn nafar boo xam ne nii pour seet ni nga xam ne noonu la mbir moo mën a tëddee.
And at the time, Honorable Bakary Dabo.
At that time, Honorable Bakary Dabo.
Mu nekkoon ambassador bi Dakar.
Was the ambassador to Dakar.
Amoon naa ko.
I knew him before.
Ma send ko a telex.
Then I sent him a telex.
Ñu ngi ñëw dem Gambia waaye dañ bëgg a jaar Dakar on transit.
I told him that we are going to Banjul, but we have to take a transit to Dakar.
So dañ bëgg nga arrange ñu meet with the Senegalese cement plant, then Sococim.
Then we want you to arrange a meeting with us with the cement factory in Senegal, the Sococim.
Mu respond swiftly.
And he responded swiftly.
Dina ko def with pleasure.
And he promised to do it with pleasure.
You decide a date.
And ñu jël benn bés, we decided a date.
You dem agree. You amal visa on the spot more arrange loolu because Norwegians required a visa to Senegal.
Tey tamit amoon nañ visa, we got a visa on the spot as they were. It was requested by the Norwegian.
So mu send protocol bi.
And he sent the protocol.
Mu receive ñu.
To receive us.
Ñu defaloon bookings for hotel arrangements yep.
And they did the hotel bookings for us.
So biñ demee.
When we went.
Be settled.
Until we were settled.
Dem office am.
We went to his office.
Mu defal ñu arrangements yep.
And he made the arrangements for us.
You dem Sococim.
And we went to Sococim.
Meet the technical team.
Pour ñu taseeg technical team bi kuréel yi ñi saytu wàlli technique bi.
Wax leen lan lañ bëgg a def Gambia.
We told them what we wanted to do in the Gambia.
Send response was very positive.
And they have a very positive response for us. Then you tontu bu yéwén.
Li taxoon ñu positive mooy.
Why it was positive is.
Du ñu gis ne dañoo xëccoo ak ñoom.
They didn't see us that we were competing with them.
Distance from Dakar to Casamance.
The distance from Dakar to Casamance, digante bi.
Is approximately 1,000 kilometers.
It's almost 1,000 kilometers. Dem na benn junne kilometer.
So ñu ne ñu.
We were told that.
Ñun dañ leen di defal a favor.
We are just doing a favor for you.
Having a plant in the Gambia.
For you to have a plant in the Gambia.
Because of a geographical location in Gambia
bi. Because of the geographical location ndax li Gambia to fi mu nekk.
Mun nañoo use sun river bi.
They can use our river, mun nañoo jëfoo suñ géej gi.
And barges and lighters.
Ak yeneen yi ci aju.
Pour transport cement bi.
Pour nag ñu mëna jàllale cement bi to transport the cement.
Why at that time ñun xamaguñ.
But that time we didn't know.
Yan kind of raw materials moo fi nekk.
What kind of raw material is here? Yan façon jumtuwaay lañ fi am fii ci réew mi.
Ndax am nañ ko pour mun a build a cement plant.
Whether we have it to build a cement plant.
So bi ñëwee.
When we came.
You divide team bi into two.
The team was divided into two.
You dawale Banjul.
Ross to Banjul.
Then bi Birkama.
Up to Birkama.
Head of the mission.
Head of the mission ki jiite yoon bi.
Mu ne yéen am ngeen a lot of construction work pour def in the next 30 years.
He said that you have a lot of construction works to do in the next 30 years. Am nañ liggéey bu bari ci wàllu samp bu ngeen war a def ci diira fanweeri at.
Only 30 years?
Fanweeri at rek.
Maybe 100 years from that time. But proceed, please.
Mu ne ma his reaction am immediately mu ne ma availability creates demand.
He told me that availability creates demand. Lum am nak ajo sakku na pour li nga xamne lolu lañ gëna sakku.
Land bima gis fi.
He told me the plan I saw here.
Land.
The land I saw here.
Fi yeb dara nekku fi.
Then there was nothing here around this area.
So mu ne ma na predict ne.
I will just predict that in
the next 25 years.
Ci diram ñaar fukki at ci kanam.
Minimum.
Lim gëna tuuti.
Ngeen fi mun a am plan boo xam ne dina profitable up to 500,000 tons.
It will be able to profitable to up to 1 million tons. Lu dem ci
500,000 tons.
500,000 tons lu dem ci genn wàlli million ton.
So ñu order seen flight benn plane special plane mu jógee Norway ñëw def surveillance.
They ordered one special plane from Norway to come and do surveillance.
Them all the way to Basse.
They went up to Basse.
There is a limestone in the Gambia.
And they saw that there is limestone in the Gambia.
But it's around Fatoto area.
Why not mu ngi nekkee ca boori Fatoto.
But it's not viable.
Why not it's not viable, but it's not viable.
Xóotaay bi depth bi.
Ni mu xóotee the depth.
So ñu gis ne am nañ cockle shells.
Tey tamit gis ne am nañ ñu xamee cockle shells.
A lot of deposits.
Lu bari nag ci biir suuf si.
Cockle shells.
Cockle shells.
Dafa am limestone.
There is limestone in it.
Limestone.
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 Mooy material bi nga mun a use for cement plant.
Is the material that you will use for cement plant.
So ñu change concept bi.
And the concept was changed. Ñu wecc na xelaat boobu.
Ñu ne dinañ am a cement grinding mill.
Then there will be a cement grinding mill.
You import the clinker from Senegal.
So that they will import the clinker from Senegal.
Then you use the cockle shells as the local component.
Then cockle shells yi ñu dal di ko jëfoo ne loolu lañ amee fii ci réew mi pour boole ko ci.
And then sand ak gypsum rek mooy the other additional details.
Te tamit suuf ak gypsum rek mooy li nga xam ne leneen lañ ci mën a yokk.
Then you engage.
Then they were engaged.
You spent for 3 weeks.
They spent here 3 weeks.
Soon mission was completed.
And our mission was completed. Suñ yoon sotti.
You delluwaat back to Norway.
And we went back to Norway.
We had an implementation schedule though.
Amoon nañ nag li nga xam ne loolu mooy nuñ war a tëlalin si lu aju ci niñ koy doxalee.
You delluwaat back.
We went back.
Nekk di def sa liggéey.
And we were all engaged to our work.
But did you have any engagements with the Gambia government during that mission?
Ndax ci jamono boobu amoon na benn jokkoo boo xam ne def ngeen ko ak nguuri Gambia.
Ñun ñoo ma doon liggéey NIB, particularly the National Investment Board.
We were working with them, NIB, the National Investment Board, particularly.
The Minister of Economic Planning.
Ministry bi saytu wàllu plan koom-koom.
Minister of Lands.
Ministry bi saytu wàllu suuf si.
Because dafa am imports yu involved ci lii.
There are a lot of imports that are involved in this.
Mooy su clinker bi di ñëwee su soree transport cost bi dafa affect production price bi.
If the clinker comes and the transport cost is far, it increase the
affects the cost, the cost of production.
Dafay gën a seerloo nag li nga xam ne ni loolu lañ ci mën a jotee.
So ñu demoon the Ports Authority amoon nañ land next to Public Works.
The Ports Authority have a land next to Public Works. Amoon nañ fa pàkk.
Mooy fii MP nekka léegi.
That's where the MP is.
And Pelican Seafood.
And the Pelican Seafood.
So the intent mooy woon.
And the intention was.
Sul clinker bi ñëwee.
When the clinker arrived.
Fa ñëw with conveyor from the port straight to the site.
It comes with a conveyor to the site.
It comes by conveyor all the way to the site.
Dafa ànd ak conveyor ci béréb bi nga xam ne foo lañ ko nar a defaree.
So public works moo nekkoon foofu at the time.
That's where public works used to be.
The container terminal bi nekka.
The container terminal.
So then land was allocated to MPE.
So that land was allocated to MPE. So the jatibo ñu jox ko MPE.
So ñu jox ñu Bond Road further down.
And we were given Bond Road further down. Ñu jël dagee Bond Road jëm suuf.
Dump human waste.
Where the human waste where
they used to dump the human waste.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you test soil bi.
And the soil was tested.
You yóbbuwaale results yi ñu yóbbuwaale soil bi back to Norway.
And the soil was taken back to Norway.
Biñ eggee.
When they arrived there.
Economics and technical partners yëpp.
And the technicals and the economic partners.
You def some conclusion of the report.
And our conclusion was made for the report.
Which was?
In 1981.
Atum 1981.
ñoo survey land bi.
When we are surveying the land.
Experts in your the next day.
The expert who came the following day.
Attempted coup d'état bu Kukoy Samba Sanyang.
Was the attempted coup d'état of Kukoy Samba Sanyang.
Then Norwegians contact me.
Then I was contacted by the Norwegians.
Because they knew by land.
Because they came by land.
Norwegians are safe.
I told them that Norwegians are safe.
So yóbbu naa leen ba si border bi.
I took them to the border.
ñoom ñu ngi dem pour join seen flight from Dakar.
And they were going to join their flight from Dakar.
Man ma stay fii.
And I stayed here.
Ba situation be calm.
Until the situation was calmed.
My family ñu ngi woon Norway get worried.
And my family was in Norway and they were worried.
I was fortunate.
And I was fortunate.
At time cable and wireless ñoo fi nekkoon.
Then there was cable and wireless that was here.
Ma dox dem pour in call from there.
Then I went to make a call.
Ma eggee foofu.
When I reached there.
Ma fekk the Norwegian television crew ñu ngi suma kër.
And I found that the Norwegian television crew were in my house.
So both times my xale yi kenn rek moo juddu.
Then my kids, there is only one who was born.
Ma call rek.
And I called.
Suma jabar pick telephone bi.
My wife picked the phone.
Ma ne ko I'm fine and your brother is safe. Fi mu nekk jàmm am na si dëkk bi.
I told her that I'm fine and your brother is also safe. There is peace in this country.
So ñu interview ma TV station bi NRK.
I was interviewed by the TV station.
So biñ paree.
When they were done.
Afterwards.
You
arrest maa ngi amee woon suma camera.
I was having my camera.
Ma dem to the police station because prisoners escaped on.
Because the prisoners that escaped, ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ jàppoon ñu te ñu rëcc.
Dañ leen ooyoon.
Were called back.
So bi ma taxawee di leen nataal nag.
When I stood and taking photo.
I remember the late Mas Jara, Uncle Mas Jara.
maa ngi fàttaliku ndem si yàlla Uncle Mas Jara.
mu joxe order ne nañ ma arrest because I'm an American journalist.
He gave orders that I should be arrested because I'm an American journalist.
I sol jean and maa ngi am beers.
I put on jean and I was having beers. maa ngi sol jean te boobu maa ngi am sikkiñ.
So luckily xam naa ko.
Luckily I knew him.
ma ñëw si moom.
I came to him.
ma ne ko yow xamewuloo ma de.
I told him, you don't recognize me.
mu ne ma yow kan la.
He said, who are you?
ma ne ko sa doomi sister yaa Sabel.
I told him, your sister's son, yaa Sabel.
Because boobu su ma walked fast rek dañ ma doon téye ji.
Then if I didn't walk fast, I would have been arrested.
If I did not talk fast, if I did not say things quickly.
mu ne ma naka nga tudd ma ne ko Baba Silla.
He asked me, what is your name? I said, Baba Silla.
mu ne ma kaay ñu dugg fire brigade.
He told me to come when he entered to fire brigade. And the sister gave him lunch. She said, when you go, you take this ball to Yaya. When I explained to the sister,
Papa Mas, they do the harm again.
So the Mas do not recognize anyone.
Certainly you are not Babasila.
So I must save. Must save dal.
Yes, I just did it to save myself.
When
I went back to Norway,
the conclusion of the report
was
very positive
for
the future of this country. Because no same they have experience.
No same they have experience.
They have a plan in Togo.
They have the plan among Togo plan
called Sim Togo.
Or Sim Togo. Sim Togo.
In Ghana.
It had one in Ghana.
Gassem. In Ivory Coast.
And another one in Ivory Coast.
Lolo ma gina force pour ma light land pour ñu establish in the Gambia.
That's what forced me to ask them to establish in the Gambia. Lolo nak moma gëna xétal pour ma laaj leen pour ñu def lolu ci Gambia.
In the end, what happened?
In the end, biñ document bi paré.
At the end, when the document was done,
submit to the National Investment Board.
And it was submitted to the National Investment Board.
Manelen dama buga Gambians yep contribute to project bi nek a shareholder.
I told them I want all Gambians to contribute to this project. It becomes a shareholder.
Then at the time,
ci jamono bobu
mon GNIC, an insurance company.
Mon GNIC insurance company.
Social Security was also.
Social Security was also.
Commercial and Development Bank.
Commercial and Development Bank.
So report B, NIB forward to Njie institution.
So the report was forwarded
by the NIB to these three institutions.
The three institutions.
You have sent internal appraisal.
Then they did their internal appraisal.
You have sent guests to ñom ci sen biir office.
Ñom ñep.
All of them.
Send conclusion was Ben Alawon.
Their conclusion was one.
Li fok ñu bokasi.
And everybody should be involved.
The commercial bank, it was headed by Ram Gopal, an Indian.
The commercial bank was headed by Ram Gopal, an Indian.
And Benjamin Ka.
And Benjamin Ka.
Social Security B.
Then the Social Security one.
How mo won nyana def sen appraisal B.
I didn't know who did their appraisal.
So being reacted to NIB.
When we reacted to the NIB.
When they reacted to the NIB's request.
You respond positively.
And they responded positively.
Then you send an appraisal team now to set ndax li nekk ci document bi mu ngi ci ground bi.
They send an appraisal team to see what they send in the report is on the ground.
Bobo, it was a different team.
That one is a different team.
You engage government.
And they engage the government again.
You ne leen dinañ leen financially 100%.
And they were told that we will finance that for 100%.
Who offered to finance it 100%?
NORAD.
That is the Norwegian Agency for Development.
NORAD.
Yeah. NORAD, ñun biñ leen approach the second time.
NORAD, when we approached them for the second time,
ñu ne ñoom amuñu relationship boobu ak Gambia government.
They said to us that we don't have the relationship with government, Gambian government.
But the nature of the project.
Why the project bi tëddee.
They are willing to consider funding it.
Am nañ éena nag pour dépasse ko.
Ma ñëw with appraisal team.
I came with an appraisal team di ñoo xam ne nii dañ ko mën a waxtaanee.
maa ngi dëkkoon Senegambia.
I was at Senegambia.
Ak team bi.
With the team.
NORAD meetee.
When NORAD met.
You send you a telex.
They sent us a telex.
Dinañu jox $35 million.
That they will give us $35 million. Fanweeri million ak juróomi million dollars.
10 years grace period.
For 10 years grace period, to dira fukki at boo xam ne ci lañ ñuy jaxantu.
Concession interest rate of 2.5%.
And interest rate, huh?
Concessionary interest rate of 2.5%.
Ci kaaj boo xam ne nii nag mooy intérêt bi mooy kaaji téeméer bu nekk ñaar ak dara ñaari ak juróom.
mooy intérêt saraxe rek boo xam ne dañ ko tuutil ba mu nekk ñaari point ak genn wàll.
waaw.
It was like a grant.
mu ngi mel ni rek ndimbal la woon.
Then information boobu delluwaat to Langley, Dr. Langley.
And that information went back to Dr. Langley.
Dr. Langley was very pleased.
No, he was very pleased. Please, kontaan.
Mu prepare a memo sent to the Minister of Finance. Then it was late Sirif Sekuba Sise.
Then he prepared a report and sent it to the Minister of Finance, late Sekuba Sise.
Then Mutombe a budget speech.
Then it coincided with the budget speech.
1985.
The 1985.
Momitam mu dem parliament mu confirm the government ñu ngi am ci cement plant.
And he went to the parliament and confirmed that the government is about to have a cement plant.
Ñu register company bi.
And the company was registered.
I was tasked to recruit Gambians in Norway with qualification pour ñu join plant bi.
Then ñu ma sason pour ma seet na Gambien ci nga xam ñoo nekk Norway te am xam-xam bi pour ñu commencer plan bi.
Na benn lady by the name of Nabu Silla.
There was one lady called Nabu Silla.
Akala ci Usman Silla lawyer.
Is the younger sister of Usman Silla, the lawyer.
Moom lañu identify on pour mu nekk ci lab bi.
She was the one whom we identified to be with the lab.
Moom ñu hire ko.
And she was hired.
Ak benn Suleiman Chun.
With one person called Suleiman Chun. Late.
So ñu attach leen ci sun plants di nekk Norway.
And they were attached to our plants in Norway.
So léegi nag dañ war a start build project bi because am nañ funding.
Now we have to start to build the project because we have funding.
So you apply for a development certificate.
And we apply for a development certificate. Ñu sentu na kayit boo xam ne sakura kayit boo xam ne kayit bu nuñ koy sampee la.
Because equipment si nga xam ne moom la ñu use to build the plant.
Ndek jumtuwaay yi nga xam ne moom la ñu jëfoo pour ñu tabax ko.
It is normal ne dañoo ñëw duty free fii.
Liñ ci namoon rek ne mooy buñ ñëwee duñ fay buree ci wàlli naama muy juuti bi.
So unfortunately.
waaye nag lim mujjee xew.
Importers.
The importers ñi koy dugal si.
Biñ mentionné ne government approved na bem dem to cabinet level ba egga to budget speech.
When biñ xamee ne àggal I don't know which to say now. It's either English or Wolof.
ba ko nguur gi ba ci nguur gi d'accord ba yóbbu ko ci cabinet mooy mbootaayu ministre yi fi ñuy toog bañ ko war a boole ci budget speech bi mooy at bu ne ministre bi saytu wàlli finance daf dee toog joxe lan lañ yaakaar ne mooy xew ci at bi li government di jënd ak li government nguur gi dépasse. Proceed please.
Mu jógee foofu mu indi ko parliament.
And from there they brought it to the parliament.
You form the company.
They formed the company.
I was the chair.
Man maa ko jiite woon.
Then with all these institutions.
And ak yeneen buntu liggéeykaay yi.
I invited them to Togo.
I invited them to Togo.
All stakeholders involved in the project, shareholders here.
And all the shareholders who involved in the company.
Late, he was the chairman of, he was the managing director of GNIC.
Sadiba was the leader of GNIC.
Commercial Bank, Modou Diop.
Commercial Bank, Modou Diop.
We want the development wing B.
He was at the development wing.
NIB, Dr. Aliu Jeng.
NIB, Dr. Aliu Jeng.
Minister of Economic Planning, Aliu Ngom.
Minister of Economic Planning, Aliu Ngom.
Minister of Finance, Bami Jang.
Minister of Finance, Minister Bisetu Kesi Riumi.
Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Finance.
Bami Jang.
Bami Jang.
Social Security, Vidal Ascroft late.
Social Security, Vidal Ascroft late. Mom dem si Yalla la.
We invite them to plan Bineka Togo.
We invited them to a plan in Togo.
We want them to operations yep.
We showed them all our operations.
One lane nakala project be viable.
And told them how the project was viable.
You supply Mali.
And they told us that they supply Mali,
Guinea-Bissau,
Guinea-Conakry, and Guinea-Conakry. And we were so more close to those countries.
The project became public.
But when the project went public,
then Importers.
Then the importers.
You lobby.
And they lobbied.
You mean the domestic importers, the local importers of cement?
Yes.
Cement
They all got up.
The project will do
and said that the project will not hold.
Because applying for a development certificate.
Because we apply for a development certificate.
You appraise that go through economic planning.
And it was appraised again to the economic planning.
To compare imported cement bidding your revenue be more into the country.
And it actually imported revenue it brings to this country.
You know, soon build a plan bobu fee.
And they said that when we build this plan here,
government dafa lose revenue.
And then the government will lose revenue.
The imported cement duty be your fee.
When they import cement, the duty they pay.
When you take conclusion bobu.
When we receive that conclusion,
you know, with some top economists.
And we came with our top economics.
We had a meeting with Sadauda.
Ñu am waxtaan ak Sadauda.
The office.
In his office.
You know,
we told him.
Every bag of cement produced.
Bag saku cement bu ne li muy indi.
They len provide excise duty bo xamne ñu ñoo len ko fair.
We'll pay that excise duty.
And then create 600 jobs.
And we'll create 600 jobs. Then ubi buntu lu dem ci juroom ben téméri nit ñu sey liggéey.
And then len save foreign exchange exposure.
Tay tamit nak dañ len dimbal ci cop wéccati bitim réew.
Xamne du len sonal.
And we not wow.
Biñ paré.
When we were done.
With them cabinet.
Put them to go to the cabinet.
Same cabinet because approve on.
The same cabinet that approve it.
Kill project.
They killed the project.
They killed the project.
Project bobu su fekkone mu ngi dunda tay.
If that project was still ongoing,
na don jëriñ réew mi njëriñ bu maga maga maga.
We really benefit this country.
Biñ ko bëggona def.
Where we wanted to build it.
It's very close to the sanatorium.
It's very close to the sanatorium. Fofu la jégué ci bori sanatorium bi.
No that accent generous.
No that ak general ami.
Ñu amone the team leader was a Jew.
The team ki jité won nak crew gi mom Jew la.
Yahud la.
Yahud.
Nema building bi pour lan la.
He told me that he asked me what is this building for?
Maneko is a sanatorium for ñi am tuberculosis.
I told him it's a sanatorium for those suffering from tuberculosis.
Manema feel the right place before them.
He told me that this is not the right place for them.
Balit yi ñu ko tu fi.
The waste is being dumped there.
Ak benen waste bi tam human waste bi ñu ko def fi.
And the human waste di jóge ci doomu adama ñoy ñu ko tour fofu.
Té ñi fresh air lañ soxla near the sea.
And they need fresh air from the sea.
Manema fi ma taxaw ni dina wax ne we will build them a new hospital suñ identify a new land.
I told them where I'm standing here, we will build a good hospital for them if they've identified any land.
Norway was very generous that time. But because of time, this is all very interesting. I think there is much to be learned from this. But we have to wrap it up on that particular point. So the project failed.
It failed
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because Gambia government would rather have the import duty than the excise tax and the creation of 600 jobs and the possibility of a company in Gambia exporting cement to the neighboring countries.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes.
But that was not the only project that you brought to Gambia.
When
that one failed,
I was very frustrated.
I'm just a human being. I was very frustrated.
The negotiations took about 5 years.
So I remember time
I can remember then my mom was alive. I went to her. I told her that I'm going back to Norway, but I will not come back here in the Gambia. She told me to sit down. Remove your tie. Remove your coat, and put it there.
Why?
I she demanded me to tell her why I said that I will not come back to the Gambia.
Ma ne ko li ma doon liggéey at yëpp nguur gi reject nañ ko.
What I was working for all these years is being rejected by the government.
Mu ne ma bul utati dara nga ñàkk ko nga blame nit.
He told me, don't look for anything, you lost it and you blame it for somebody else.
Mu ne ma yow at that time I was about 30 years old.
Then I was about 30 years old.
Mu ne ma su neexoon Yàlla mu am.
And he said, if God pleases, it will happen.
Xaj na yow loolu gënut si yow te xamuloo ko.
Maybe it is not good for you and you don't know it.
Xaj na am na lu gën ci yow nga am fan wu gudda.
Maybe there is something good for you, then you have longer life.
Ak mujj gu rafet.
And good ending of life.
Mu ne ma bul utati dara nga ñàkk ko nga blame nit.
He told me that don't look for anything. He told me don't look for anything, you lost it and you blame it for somebody else.
Ma dama bëgg nga dunda ci ñetta ñi.
He told me to live by these three things.
Loo am Yàlla.
Whatever you have is God.
Loo ñàkk Yàlla.
Whatever you lost is God.
Loo gis Yàlla.
Whatever you see is also God.
Ma génna.
Then I left.
Suma tie.
I put on my tie again.
Suma coat.
My coat.
Adem.
And then I left.
So Sinkut at the same time then.
At that time, Sinkut.
Madam back.
I went back.
Friend of mine ko xam ne ñoo bokkoon the same school.
A friend of mine whom I shared the same school with.
Noticed ne bi ma dellusee I was very frustrated.
He noticed that when I came back, I was frustrated.
Paam mu ngi doon liggéey International Trade Center in Geneva.
The father was working at the International Trade Center in Geneva.
Mu ne ma waxal Njaay mu ñëw Geneva.
And he said, tell Njie to come to Geneva.
I dem Geneva.
I went to Geneva.
Mu ne ma seen climate is very good for flowers.
He told me that your climate is very good for flowers.
The proximity diggante Europe ak Angleterre ak Europe ak Gambia dafa jegeñ trop.
And he told me the proximity between Gambia and UK is very close.
Kon dinaa ko mën a arrangé mu am a feasibility study or a pre-feasibility study ñu dem seeti ndax flower farm mun nañ ko bil Gambia.
He told me that whether I can have a pre-feasibility study so that a flower plant can be built in the Gambia.
Within a week.
Within a week, he did a bend best boy.
Arrange a consultant.
And he arranged a consultant.
The funding.
For funding.
Mu ñëw Gambia.
Then he came to the Gambia.
Ma ñëw ak moom.
I came with him.
By the name of Anna Bijsland, he's a Norwegian.
By the name of Anna Bijsland, Norwegian law.
Concept boobu sax was later changed.
And that concept was later changed.
Mooy ñu am potted plants.
Then we have a potted plant.
Ji ko fii di ko def ci river containers time boobu Europe green plants yi dafa xewoon ci offices yi.
Then this green plants was rampant in the office.
Mu ne ma is an export article boo xam ne dina jar very fast.
He said that this is an important, so that will be very fast.
NIB ñoo coordinate visit boobu.
And NIB coordinated that visit.
You boole woon ko ak Mr. Ibrahima A. Fall.
And they were linked with Ibrahima A. Fall.
Mu doon liggéey IMF World Bank after bi mu jeexalee NIB.
He was working with an IMF World Bank.
A very nice man, very clever man.
Very clever man.
Now with ADB, I suppose.
Now covering Nigeria, actually the biggest platform for ADB. So, Bim ñëwee mu defar study within 3 weeks.
When he came, he made the study for within 3 weeks.
So, UNDP organized a meeting in Sierra Leone.
Then UNDP organized a meeting in Sierra Leone.
A lot of entrepreneurs ñoo demoon.
Bëri ñoo fa demoon.
maa ngi fa woon.
I was there.
By Ndongo Fall.
By Ndongo Fall was there.
Commercial bank sent a representative.
And the commercial bank sent a representative yónni woon nañ ndaw.
NIB. Mam Lai Si late.
Mam Lai Si.
Ali
Silla.
Diallo late. So ñu dem foofu with ADB and lot of financial institutions.
ñu dem foofu ak ADB ay yeneen buntu yoo xam ne ni ñu ngi liggéey yëngu si wàlli koppar yi.
biñ demee.
When we went.
nekkaa ngi amee sa pre-feasibility study ñeneen ñi feasibility study full-fledged.
Each and every one of us was with his 3 feasibility, some with full-fledged feasibility.
IFC was there, International Finance Corporation.
IFC was there also.
The commercial wing of the World Bank.
The commercial wing of the World Bank.
Commonwealth Development Corporation, CDC.
Commonwealth Development Corporation, CDC was there.
African Development Bank.
And African Development Bank.
So Kunekar Tahau presents a project.
Everyone presented his project.
So bima presented the first presentation.
When I did my presentation, when I finished,
IFC, CDC, ADB yangi tahaw.
All those that he named were waiting.
Engage right now.
And they asked me whether they can engage me right now.
Let me meet with CDC first.
Let me CDC
IFC afterwards.
And IFC IFC.
And then ADB.
ADB.
So both CDC and IFC.
CDC and IFC
you respond positively.
They
will do a full-fledged feasibility study. Jointly. You hire a Frenchman
France
by the name of Njie Pt2.
Njie Pt2. And they came here
NIB.
And went to the NIB.
Them explain a project bini.
I went and explained this project to them.
It's environmental friendly. Export.
And it is something exported.
The British market.
British.
So staff
I spoke with Tamunjai, who was a staff there. But he's from Banjulinding.
Establish a flower farm.
I told him that I need land to establish a flower farm. He told me to come the following day so that we can go together.
The next day,
I went there the following day. And I was taken to Makumbaya. We spoke with the Alcalo.
A date.
He gave us a date.
So guru.
When we were coming with colonels.
You meet the Council of Elders.
And we met with the Council of Elders. When we came, we spoke with them, myself and Tamu. And we told them what we want to do in that village. We spoke. And we agreed.
So I informed my lawyer.
I informed to my lawyer.
To prepare an agreement.
To prepare an agreement.
For the compensation.
That's the compensation, the dampagne.
But both cash and kind. So
when we went,
we went a thumbprint part.
We went with a thumbprint part. We spoke with them.
You them the late Demba Sanyang, the paramount chief.
Then the paramount chief, late Demba Sanyang.
Read agreement which is source at Mandinga.
He read the agreement in Mandinka. Then they were giving me this land to lease it. And the 7 of them all thumbprinted.
You confirm understanding.
And they confirmed that they understood what is written on the paper.
So must start the process to lease land.
And I started to lease the land.
What's the name of the lawyer you went with?
Lawyer Musa Bitey.
And Mr. Bitey was to later sign an affidavit indicating that he did this transaction with you.
Yes.
Mr. Bitey gannaaw gi bind na kayit guy dëggal ne àndoon naa yow ci liggéey boobu.
Submit na ko.
I even submitted it.
It's in the bundle of documents. Later on, we tender the bundle of documents all together.
Okay. So then
proceed, please.
You start the process of leasing.
Then we started the process of leasing.
You went to district authorities.
We went to the district authorities.
Process complete.
When mbir mi pare,
you lease land.
The land was leased.
And in the district authority, some of the alcalos who were involved at the at the initial agreement were also involved at the district level.
Normally,
the procedure was
alkali of the village.
The alkali of the village
Attend meeting bi.
will attend the meeting.
Today Makumbaya dañoo call turam.
If at all is Makumbaya, we'll call the name.
Sagar Kujabi.
Sagar Kujabi.
Moo jógee Makumbaya.
Is the one from Makumbaya.
ñu ne ko léegi am nañ letter bu jógee ci yéen ne yéen d'accord ngeen na Mam Sait.
We have a letter from you that you have agreed with Mam Sait.
Agreement.
Nangoto.
Mu ne waaw.
And he said yes.
You prepare resolutions.
Then a resolution was prepared.
The chief bi nga xam ne mooy head mooy chair meeting bi.
The chief who used to chair the meeting.
Moom.
Himself.
Mu oko.
We'll call him.
Mu thumbprint.
And he will thumbprint.
Yónnee ko commissioner's office.
Then it's sent to the commissioner's office.
You process the lease.
Then the lease is processed.
And you have a copy of this resolution?
Yes.
Proceed, please.
Yes. Then the lease be pare.
Then when the lease was done,
you a first board meeting here.
Then you're gonna meeting fee, board meeting fee.
You agree, you accept lease fee.
Then the lease was accepted.
Mo nekkoon suma equity contribution for project boobu.
What they conduct to $1 bu mat ci project boobu.
Mooy man suma wàlla ci liñ teg ku ci nekk lim teg ci project boobu.
So ñu ne land bi maa ko clear.
They told me that I should clear the land.
Man maay build office bi.
I am the one to build the office.
Man maay build the parking shed.
I have to build the parking shed.
Maa wara def 2 boreholes there.
And I should do the 2 boreholes there.
And the generator room.
And generator room.
I agreed to it.
And I agreed to it.
Biñ pare.
When we were done.
You hire Francis Jones pour mu ñëw def evaluation bi.
Then we hired Francis Jones to do the evaluation bi.
Then noonu lañ distributed equity bi. Ma surrender the land to the company.
Then I surrendered the land to the company.
CDC 1/3, man 1/3, and then IFC 1/3.
CDC 1/3, IFC 1/3, and myself 1/3.
So I'm a chairman of that board of directors.
Then I become the chairman of that the board of directors of that company.
Then they were only in financiers.
They were only financiers.
That is IFC and CDC.
Yeah, I convinced them.
Then I convinced them.
I learned the viability of this project.
I told them the viability of this project.
That don't jail equity.
Then we have to take equity.
Equity.
Then they agreed to take the equity.
I said original role we more want to just co-finance it.
But their first agreement was just to co-finance.
Then I was lucky also.
And I'm
a security clause because there are 2 multi-billion institutions in man. I was an individual.
Then I was individual, and there were 2 multi-billion companies.
Later on, mun nañoo dilute suma shares.
Then I was scared that later on they can dilute my shares. Suma wala man nañ ko mujjé sell.
Security clause bu wone ne any increase of equity.
Ma wone am nak lu wër garal ne bu féké am na benn lo xamné yokkute am na ci.
Fa nekk unanimous.
Pour ñun ñëpp la moy nekkal.
Because ñoom ñaari institutions yi suñ ñëwé together like man am a minority there.
Then lool mo wone ne ñoom ñaari compagnie buñ tassé rek da fay melni man ma fay gëna néew doole.
Yalla def bi ma def request bobu.
And when I was doing the request,
it was in London.
It was in London, fortunately.
Fekk ñoom already invited the CEO pour ñu sign agreements.
Then they are already called the CEO so that they will sign the agreement.
Like kuñ ko won way ma leen su ngeen agree wu duma ko sign.
They didn't like it, but I told them that if you don't agree, I will not sign it.
Finally, you agree.
And finally, they agreed.
A good roll of the dice, but it paid off.
Yeah, it paid off. So then...
And then they started.
We imported about 40 containers.
We dugal nañ lu dem ci ñen fukki container.
You employ about 300 Gambians from Makumbaya, Kubaruko, Lamin, and Kubune.
ñu daldi jël liggéey lu dem ci ñetti téeméeri doomi Gambien yu jóge ay liggéeykat ci ñi jóge ko ci dëkk yooyu.
So officially Sadawda ubi plan lifin bo Makumbaya plan farm.
Sadawda nag moo ñëwoon pour ubbi bés boobu jotaay bu
in your bundle of documents you have some photographs.
maa ngi indi waale photographs yi sax fii nii bi Sadawda ñëwee.
Could you pass them?
Sadawda.
Then Sadawda.
mu ñëw.
He came.
And all the diplomatic corps.
Ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne ñoo jóge ko ci yeneen réew toogal fi seeni réew.
The whole country ñi nga xam ne they were responsible running this country.
And all those borom nomba tànk yi fii ci réew mi yëpp.
attend nañ opening ceremony boobu.
teewoon nañ ci xew-xew boobu.
Including the former president Yaya Jammeh.
Including Yaya Jammeh mi nga xam ne moo fi nekkoon président.
In what capacity did Yaya Jammeh attend?
He was part of the security team.
te time boobu moom moo bokkoon na ci ñi doon saytu wàlli kaaraange gi foofu.
ñëwee moom ak all of these soldiers.
When he came with all these soldiers.
moo doon garder Sadawda.
Then he was protecting Sadawda.
mu gis femme bi.
This was which year?
An at la woon.
In 1992.
Then was 1992 ci atum 1992 la.
mu ñëw.
When he came.
biñ paree.
When we were done.
ñu dem.
We left.
Did you have a conversation with Yaya Jammeh during that time?
Jamono boobu am na yenn kàddu yu dox sa diggante Yaya Jammeh.
ñu ngi soriwante maa ngi ànd ak Sadawda nii.
We were a bit distant. I was with Sadawda.
mu ngi mel ni fii chairman toog ni.
It's just like where chairman is sitting.
Pictures yooyu sax amoon nañ ko.
We even got those pictures.
waaye gannaaw gi daf ko jël moom.
But he took them.
Who took them?
Yaya Jammeh.
waaw dafa dégg ne dafa am ku gis pictures yi mentional ko.
Somebody saw those pictures and mentioned it to him that he said he want to see it.
mu jël ko returnut ko back.
Then he took them and he never returned it back.
Then we started operation.
When we start our operation,
there was a flower convention in the United States.
amoon na ndaje boo xam ne ñu ngi fa doon dajeel pour wàlli flower la ci United States.
One of the biggest flower convention.
bokk na ci jotaay yi gën a rëy nag ci mbiri fleur yooyu.
During the time of Bush Senior.
ci jamono Bush Senior.
In Ohio, Columbus.
ci Ohio, Columbus.
We participated. ñu participate ci
convention.
Wow.
Those of us who participated in the convention.
ñu jël suñ flowers si fii.
We took our flowers from here.
Fly them ñu dem ba Ohio 48 hours la jël.
We fly for 48 hours.
man ma dem.
I went.
Team boobu.
At the team.
Trip bi.
The trip.
ñi ñoo ko sponsor woon UNDP.
It was sponsored by UNDP.
Then ñu yóbbaale suñ flowers yi.
We took along our flowers.
am a stall.
With a stall.
Then biñ prepare stall yi ba pare.
When we prepared the stalls.
ñu ñëpp dañ génn for security reason.
We all went out for security reason.
Then President Bush ñëw foofu.
Then President Bush came there.
It was a competition also.
Jongante la woon itamit. Israel. Kenya.
Latin America.
And
the United States.
United States.
Makumbaya came first.
Makumbaya moom la moo jiitu woon.
Yeah, NIB dañ daan use loolu ci seen investors guide.
NIB used that in their investors guide.
And what was the name of your flowers?
Chrysanthemums.
Chrysanthemums. Did you have a brand name?
Kumbaya. That was the gimmick for marketing. That was the marketing name. Kumbaya.
Kumbaya chrysanthemums or
Kumbaya flowers, because Kumbaya mo ginona catchy, easy to pronounce. Yeah. Kumbaya, my Lord, that Negro spiritual song.
Yeah. Kumbaya na mo ginona neexa wax motax ñu tuddé won ko.
So you start the export every week.
We started exporting every week.
20 tons.
20 tons.
With them 25 tons.
Up to 25 tons, ñaar fukki ton ak juroom.
On freighter.
Te ñu jëfala suñu freighter bopp.
Then ñu jënd benn irrigation system called the Pivot.
We bought one irrigation system called the Pivot.
South Africa ñoko doon manufacture.
It was manufactured by South Africa.
At the time, it was about $350,000.
Ci jamono bobu nak lu dem ci ñetti témèr ak juroom fukki junne dollar la.
Mu ngi guddee about 100 meters.
Dem na lu dem ci téméri mètre.
So pressure from the borehole moko dé def mu move.
The pressure from the borehole make it to move.
Waaye suy irriguer dafa melni taw. Ñu ko dé gis ci film si.
And it's irrigating just like rain.
Dike yoy yeb ya Jammeh ko bàyyi xel.
And all those things Yaya Jammeh was looking at it.
So paying attention to them.
Is paying attention to it.
So biñ amé recognition bobu.
When we had the recognition, biñ amé ragneef gogu.
You am volume in demand.
Then suñ liggéey suñ liñ sakku ci ñun dal mu yokku.
Then you need flowers in England.
We send flowers to England
and Holland. So dinañ mëna hire a freighter.
We can hire a freighter.
We go to the Gambia.
It will come to the Gambia.
30 to 40 tons of chrysanthemums. Because of the proximity, digante airport bi ak farm bi.
Because of the proximity, digante airport bi ak toll bi digante bi.
So plane bi di land sa dañ ko gis ñun.
When the plane land, we usually see it.
Dinañ mëna harvest.
We can harvest, dañ ko mëna jël witi ko.
We cool ko.
Topato ko.
Park ko.
Dal di ko park.
Airport bi ak farm bi is about 15 minutes drive.
The airport and the farm is 15 minutes drive. Fukki minutes ak juroom la ko auto di daw.
Su joggé fi ngoon.
When he left from here in the evening.
In 5-6 hours mu ngi Angleterre.
Ci juroom benni waxtu mu nga réewi Angleterre.
So demé ci Covent Market bi the next day.
If you go to the Covent Market the following day.
In fa fekk the kumbaya flowers.
You will meet there the kumbaya flowers.
The demand was getting higher and higher.
Of
course, because the Kenya producing the sites or places that produce flowers, say Naivasha, would be around 10 to 12 hours from London, because you would have to fly them from Naivasha to Nairobi and then Nairobi to London. That's 8 hours 30 minutes. So approximately 12 hours, almost half a day. Before they get there.
And within that period, we can go to England and come back.
Farms in Kenya.
I went to those farms that you are saying in Kenya.
All the way to Nakuru.
Up to Nakuru.
Nakuru, Naivasha, they're next to one another.
Yeah. So they do $1 billion annually in flowers only.
Ben at bu nek lu dem ci $1 billion lañ def at mu jot.
Ñun lolu won sun target this small country.
For us that was our target, this small country,
because export article.
Because it was an export article
and the demand was high.
Te ñi ko aajo bari won na lool.
West Africa fini yeb the French countries even French former colonies like Senegal, Ivory Coast, they dan jënd ci flowers from the Gambia.
All those West African French colonies, they usually come to Gambia and buy flowers.
Because before the Makumbaya farm, you send flowers all the way to France.
Because of Makumbaya farm, we send flower France.
So you do this supply the Senegalese market.
We started supplying the Senegalese market.
Because the Senegalese have experience.
You do the flowers supply Ivory Coast. When
we supply them, they take it to Ivory Coast.
So you them secure market for.
We went and secure market at that place.
Project be the international recognition.
And the project bi ñu koy commencé di ragné ci aduna bi.
Mu nekkon a showcase for the entire country.
Nek nak lo xamné ni réew mi yépp ñuko am woné.
Ay bu Sa Dawda di am gan.
Anywhere Sa Dawda is receiving a guest.
Either finance or president's office nañu call.
Either ben president office president bi wala finance dañu call.
President of the Islamic Development Bank visited the farm.
President Islamic Development Bank dem na némé ko ci place bi.
Former Prime Minister of Turkey, his brother, ñëwon na fi séti femme bi.
Ki nekkon Prime Minister bu Turkey rakam momi ñëwon na sét place bi.
EU delegates always ñu ci femme bi.
EU delegates, they were always at the farm.
Man si suma boppa sax xawma woon ne farm bi ndeke nii laa mujjee because musuma gis chrysanthemums.
I myself didn't know that the farm will last like this because I have never seen chrysanthemums.
Anko gisee in Las Palmas biñ amee a joint visit ñun investors yi pour dem Las Palmas visit chrysanthemum farm.
I saw it at Las Palmas when we went there.
Because there was a condition attached ne foog ñu am a technical partner who am expertise in chrysanthemums.
So dañ ci boole woon ne pour ñu tàmbali lii fuñ jaar am koo xam ne xarañ na ci mbéyam chrysanthemum.
So CDC ñu identify benn British farm bu nekk in fii nii Las Palmas.
CDC, they identified one British farm at Las Palmas.
I recruited the financial controller who don't study in England by the name of Modu Mane.
When I recruited the financial controller who was studying in UK, Modu Mane,
he
was attached there.
Then I recruited also senior Gambians.
Then I recruited another two senior Gambians.
Tamsir Jain.
One called Tamsir Jain.
Tamsir Jain was a very, very senior agriculturist.
Kokuna borom xam-xam la woon kilifa la woon ci mbiri mbayteef.
Moo doon manage project bi nekk fii nii cotton project bi in Basse.
He was the one managing the cotton project in Basse.
And Pa Gay in Ndekem.
And another person called Pa Gay in Ndekem.
Agronomist la ku am experience.
And he was well experienced
in agronomy.
ñoom ñu nekk assistant production managers.
Then they were the assistant production manager.
You increase the workforce to about 400 unskilled workers.
They increased the workforce for another level.
Then you knew in 1994.
Then we came up to 1994.
The change of government, the coup d'etat.
During the change of government, overthrow.
Then force majeure come to effect.
And they have affected us.
Force majeure, how would you say that in Wolof? How do you call it? How do you call it? Liñ sentu dal moy mbettex bo xamne dafa yaxa liggéey.
So ñu repatriate all the expats.
Ci ko lolu ci lañ delo borom xam-xam yépp.
Denmark.
They went back to their countries, some from Denmark,
Angleterre,
some from UK.
Project be collapsed.
And the project collapsed.
Because there was an agreement there with state.
There was an agreement that states
if there is a military takeover, for example, security of the staff.
Then if there is a military takeover, the security of the staff should be protected.
The total loan for both equity and equity and loan financing.
Both loan financing and the equity.
Altogether was about £6 million sterling.
It was about £6 million sterling.
The capacity to bring about 40 containers.
That was the reason why we can bring up to 40 containers. When it happened,
94 coup d'etat bi ñëw.
The 94 overthrow came.
After 3-4 years.
After 3 to 4 years.
You have a board meeting in London.
We had a board meeting in London.
You decide the future of the farm.
And decided the future of the farm.
Interest rate bi mu ngi gën a high rek.
And then the interest rate was becoming higher, which was
Them na be about £8 million sterling.
It went up to £9 million sterling.
£8 million sterling.
Okay.
Then it was an agenda item. Chair meeting.
I was the one chairing the meeting.
You name a nice opinion. Well, the farm is worthless now. Then what a right of loan see.
They asked me my opinion. You like man luy suma xalaat mo len fim nek dal tol bi mu ngi dal delu gannaaw dañ wara seet nak lu ñu defante
amatul njëriñ amatul valeur.
Then ñoom ñëpp ñu agree ci.
They all agreed on it.
You write off loans, see?
They write off the loans.
Then, Mudes Nak shareholding structure.
Then it's left with their shareholding structure.
Moy ku ci nek lang fa mom nañ ko téralé.
Ñu ko téralé sen ku ne momé fam.
So ñu jaay ma sen shares.
They sold me their shares.
After negotiations.
After the negotiation.
Biñ paré.
When they were done.
You return because biñ dañ assign on land bi paré register ko at the Ministry of Justice.
We assigned the land and it was registered at the Ministry of Justice.
You delloowaat ma land bi.
And they returned the land back to me.
CDC and IFC hired Mariam Dentin.
CDC hired Mariam Dentin.
Mu complete negotiations yooyu.
And she completed the negotiation.
Why initially CDC and IFC ñoom ñi leen kile Aida Dramé moo leen doon represent bi ñoo set up company.
Initially, Aida Dramé represented them when the company was being set up.
Man Ousmane Silla moo ma doon represent.
I was represented by Ousmane Silla.
Bi loolu passé.
When those things were all done.
1979. 1979, sorry.
1999.
Silla then the Minister of Agriculture contact.
Then I was contacted by the Minister of Agriculture.
Late Fanseni Doumbouya.
Late Fanseni Doumbouya. He asked whether if I can go to his office.
Madam.
I went.
Pivot.
Then he asked me whether we were selling our pivot.
What is the pivot?
The irrigation system.
The machine immigration baby.
The one Yaya Jammeh had his eyes on.
Because during the ceremony he was just looking at it.
So Maneko no, it's not for sale.
Maneko did it, jayuñ ko.
Because at the time I'm on a British company bo xamne dañ bëggoon ñëw def potato onions.
Then there was another British company who came here to make potato
produce onions.
Onions by soble.
Ñu doon waxtaan man ak ñoom.
We were discussing.
By finalize it.
But we didn't finalize it.
Ñoom actually ñoom Amadou Samba lañ mitoon.
Actually they met with Amadou Samba.
A friend of mine.
Who is my friend.
Mu refer leen mu ne moom amul that kind of land.
And he referred them because he didn't have that kind of land.
You negotiate.
They negotiated.
Mary Samba.
Represented
that British company.
And represented that British company.
Man Awa Sise Sabali represent me.
And I was represented by Awa Sise Sabali.
So being finally all the transactions.
When we finalized all the transactions.
I turned to the Honorable Minister and it's not for sale.
Then Tila Honorable Minister that
was the first telephone call. That
was the first telephone call.
Second one be about 2 months after.
The second one about 2 months he called and told me
with all the equipment.
Whether you are not going to sell the whole farm with all the equipment. And I told him no. That's where the problem started.
Did you eventually produce onions?
Yes.
Yes. But nonetheless, the problems remained. Let's take a break now, and when we return, you will tell us all about the problem.
Thank you.
Fine. We will break for 45 minutes. Is that all right?
That is fine. That is fine, Mr. Chair. Yes.
We'll come back at 3 o'clock.
All right. Thank you very much.
I think that should be okay. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.